Hey everybody, I hope you're doing really well. This last week I had a fantastic experience. I've started helping with a pop-up church for homeless people and the working girls in Plymouth City Centre. And on Tuesday we restarted for the first time after lockdown. It was an emotional evening for a lot of the folks there because they'd lost one of their friends in the last few weeks. And so there were about 15 of us there, and they gathered around a candle and had a few moments quiet, and one of them said a few words, and then I asked if I could tell them a story. And I retold them the parable of the prodigal son. It was incredible. I'd not experienced it before like this. It made me think that this is probably how the first hearers reacted, because they could really empathise with a young man who wanted to take his money and go off to the big city. They could understand how he could blow it all on parties and drugs and drink and all the rest of it. They really, really understood about how when the money went, then the person's friends disappeared too, and how they were left in squalor. They could understand the fear of returning home after having treated the father like the son did in the parable. And throughout it, they were interjecting and calling out and oh no and oh boy, oh ooh, all the rest of it. And it made me think, this is what it's meant to be like. Jesus didn't have lots of people sitting in rows of pews. They'd have been gathered around him. They'd have been putting comments in the middle of his stories. It would have been an interactive experience when Jesus was telling the parables. Now, why am I saying all that? Well, this is a preamble to our look at the last verse of Paul's first letter to Timothy. In it, he says, by professing it, some have missed the mark as regards the faith. Grace be with you. Now, obviously, that's only half a sentence, so we need to go back to the penultimate verse as well to understand what he's saying. So the complete passage, 1 Timothy 6, verses 20 to 21, read this. Timothy, guard what has been entrusted to you. Avoid the profane chatter and contradictions of what is falsely called knowledge. By professing it, some have missed the mark as regards the faith. Grace be with you. Yeah. Sometimes we make faith very hard. We either make it very hard by adding in lots of layers. We make faith very hard by trying to remove lots of layers. Sometimes we add all of these human institutions into it to the point where people don't feel like they want to be part of church. They don't feel like they want to be part of an organised religion, whatever that might mean. They want to do faith on their own because they don't like all of the bump that goes along with it. And that's kind of why we set up Pop-Up Church in the first place, because we knew that these guys and girls on the streets would not want to darken the doorstep of a traditional church because they wouldn't feel like they had any place there. The other side of it, the flip side, is that sometimes we try to water down the message by fitting in with societal norms of morality and behaviour, and stripping down what the cost of discipleship is, the cost of belief in God, that we try to attract as many people as we can by making it relevant, again, whatever that means, and we just miss the mark as regards the faith. The truth is that Christianity is really a very simple faith. Like the story of the prodigal son, Christianity is at heart about a God who longs to have a restored relationship with his wayward children and does everything possible for us to be in that relationship and come back into his love. But it's true that we all mess up. We all break that relationship. And so that's why Jesus came, to live our life, to die our death, to rise again, to show us that the hope that we can have is certain. That's the truth. That's Christianity. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. But we shouldn't dumb it down and strip away the requirement of loving God, of calling out on the name of Jesus and trusting in him for our salvation. That's what Paul is entrusting to Timothy. It's what the whole Bible entrusts to us. It's what the Christian life is about. It's about one poor beggar telling another beggar where to find food. This week, I hope that you will know the love of God, that love that sees him seeking us out when we're lost, calling us home. I hope that you feel able to share that love with other people. I'll see you on Wednesday. God bless.